this together. Really cool. I love the diversity of this photography exhibition. It shows the massive talent that we have in the photography space. So that's a plus. Extra honor to be part of this, really. So yeah, we'll keep it brief. So to get other speakers up here to talk about their art, I will just share a little bit, a glimpse of my artistic process and say a little bit about the photo. So my process is different than, I guess, from other photographers. What I do, I always try to create new work. So I don't usually take works from my archive. I try to create new works to specific themes or topics or different curations. And this is also what happened with this piece. When I do this, I try to channel the energy that has to come through. So not what I want to come through. So, but what, let's say, the universe is giving me for this specific topic. And this is also what I did for this piece. This piece is actually part of a classic photography curation exhibition I did together with the Neil Gallery in China for their super space. Um, so I channeled this artwork um, basically for the essence of classic photography and what it portrays, um, not only within the photography genres, but in general for art and how impactful it could be by itself, even if it's just one or two tools that are used, keeping the photos as raw as possible in regards of the process, and let's say embracing the unknown and the randomness in real life. So we have a lot in the space talking about unknown and randomness with code and generative art, which is amazing. And I thought about this process and realized that we have, on the exact opposite side of the spectrum, we have classic photography, which does the same, but not in code and not virtually, but in real life. So this is what this curation is about. This is why this photograph exists. I basically just drive around. I live in Switzerland in the Alps, right in the center, and I basically just drive around and see what intuitively comes to me. Go to those locations, and some often it doesn't work, but sometimes I'm lucky and I get conditions like you see in the photo, with very special lighting, and also composition wise, um, with different kind of energies coming through. So yeah, enjoy, and if you have questions, let me know.
I absolutely love this piece and the natural vibes it provides. It's absolutely amazing to even see the reflection of the light on the water and like the fog in the distance. So I also like the layering of this picture. But I want to know more from the curator. So Wim, Taimaz, do you want to share your feedbacks on this piece? Oh, they might just got rugged. Guys, anyone else who want to share a feedback on this piece? This is absolutely amazing, and I also like the way it's kind of a very unique ratio. So it's not a 16 by 9, I guess. And this truly kind of emphasize the depth of the image itself. It creates way more depth in the image itself. So absolutely very, very well done, without.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Well, if there are no additional questions, maybe I can share a little bit of the story. Like, I went there. I had to climb down like a steep hill to get there, actually, and a small part of it was actually sliding down off my bottom. So it was very funny when I realized, when I finally got to the glacial river, I realized that my tights have been ripped apart, and my bottom was like free for everyone to see. I was so happy that it was a solo trip and I was there by myself. But yeah, it was super cold because I basically had no pants left, and I had to climb over the river and into the snow to place the tripod in the installation. It's basically a long exposure shot, so it took me a while to be there, and I had like 30 minutes to pull it off because the light, there was just a small time frame where the light came through like this, through the forest that you see a little bit on the right side and the upper right side. The light came through, and this reflected in the glacial river. So yeah, overall it was a very challenging and funny trip, and I'm glad I could pull it off for you guys.
It's always so interesting to know more about the behind the scenes. It's incredibly interesting actually to see how each work has different context, and like the way you achieve that result is not always something you would immediately understand from the picture itself. I mean, I can pretty much say that one was hard picture to take because like the environment really looks like a nature and far from anything like from a city or something. So I can tell that there was like some kind of struggle to reach that particular location. But I absolutely love to know more about that. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing. And Obscura, sorry, Taimaz, if you're here, if you want to provide any more feedbacks, or we can move to the
I'm
next
back.
artist.
Sorry. My phone
Hello.
gets really hot recently in the Twitter spaces. I just wanted to say to Wild Ops that your work has been on my radar for a very long time, since the very first days of the NFTs, and I'm very happy you are part of this exhibition. And this piece is a very beautiful, gorgeous piece, and it truly did needed to be there. So congratulations, and thank you for submitting.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me with you guys.
I'm very happy we took this route to include more landscape this time. I think last time, with when we had the yacht exhibition, we didn't have as many landscapes as we had this time. So I'm very happy we decided to include more. I think the gallery looks gorgeous with all these beautiful landscapes.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Like, it's been so long since I first been on this gallery in Cyber. Like, while I was designing it, we were here with the Unchained Ninja and Tony, and we were chilling. But this is also the first time for me to actually see it with well, with these many artworks, and it's absolutely amazing to see so many different and beautiful artworks from different categories. And I feel like this space is really getting the sense and the vibes it should have right now that it has all of the artworks in it as well. So thank you very much for for pointing that out, Taimaz. I completely agree. And yeah, I think we can move to the next artist. And Whiteout, thank you very much for being here and for sharing um, your story behind this piece. And I think we should move. I'm trying to be conscious of where you guys are placed, but it's getting a little bit harder for me as well. So maybe Eric, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm this Eric or
Hello,
the other
hello.
Eric, because I know there's Eric Witso as well.
You can take the lead. Please go ahead.
Okay, I think my piece is on the other side, but I had difficulties getting on Cyber started, but now I'm there. So I think it's on the other side of this wall, I think, if I'm correct. Yeah, it's there. It's
Yeah,
like a
should be.
yeah, it's like a water slide. It's from a collection called Poolside Casino. It's a photo I took quite a long time ago, but I still at the time when I took those, these are taken in Argentina. I did a trip actually with already my then ex girlfriend, but we planned like a trip uh, before we separated, and we decided to do it together. And it was like the whole trip. It was like a month in Argentina. Was like a long goodbye, let's say. And when I look back at the photographs, a lot of the photos I took there were like, yeah, pretty nostalgic and melancholic at the same time. And I think that's something that's also in this collection, the poolside casino. It's like it's an abandoned place, and you could still feel the joy. And I think it's also my emotional state that was there at the moment. Like we were separated, but you could still kind of feel the good times we had. But it's everything is lost in a way. And yeah, I think that's what I wanted to show in this collection more or less. And there's yeah, it was an amazing place. It was like this old casino with like a pool and everything, and it seemed that it had just been abandoned, and at the same time like a long time ago. So it was a weird experience. And I think the yeah, the loneliness or solitude that it radiated was something that I wanted to portray. Yeah, and sorry for busting in. I also want to thank you, Garrett, and Taimaz and Wim for this opportunity as well, because most of the people I think here know me for my grandfather's work, and it's nice that it's now a photo of my private, personal collection, let's say, that's being displayed. So a big thank you to Wim and Taimaz for that as well.
Well, I just wanted to address that, Eric. You are rather well known in the photography space as the initiator and let's say the person that has brought your grandfather's work into the space, but we rarely saw some of your own work. And I was really happy to discover when we made this selection of images, we didn't look at the names, we looked at the images, and I was happy to discover that it was your work and your own work that was there.
That's really nice to hear, Wim. Thank you.
I absolutely feel the solitude and the like loneliness that you were talking about of this piece, and it's so beautiful when a piece, like, even though it's not sharing like directly that particular emotion, it's kind of suggesting you to feel it. It's making you feel it anyway, but portraying something completely abstract and different from that emotion. So I absolutely like and love this piece actually. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing it. 100%. And yeah, I think since we're here, we can literally rotate our heads 180-degree, and we're gonna see the piece from Oma Shot, I guess. Guys, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing the names wrong, but please feel free to correct me. We can rotate our heads 100% degrees, and well 180 degrees, and we're gonna see the shot. Yeah, Oma, take the lead.
Just to situate the work, it is just opposite the pool, and it's there that I see now we are many of us gathered. It's this really remarkable photo of two kids looking at each other, and one black skinned and one albino skinned, with curiosity and tenderness combined. Um, that made it really feel special. So we would love to have your feedback and your input as well.
I think the Twitter handle is pronounced AG Batamesoma, something like that. Once again, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but you're here on the panel side, on the speaker side. So if you wanna share some behind the scenes and maybe the meaning of the work for you, please take the mic, Oma. Okay, I think we will be back at you later. Maybe you're rugged now or something. We can move on, like looking at the last piece on our right, and we're gonna find the piece from 3131 Matteo, which is also here on the space. So welcome. Do you want to share your vision and ideas of this artwork?
Hey, Gianmarco, Wim, and other friends here. Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to. And first of all, I want to say it's a pleasure to be back on the yacht again. I was in the first one, and I didn't think it was possible, but this is even better. It's even cooler. I've already had a swim in the spa. I jumped off the boat. That's a shortcut, by the way, if you want to get downstairs. Uh, I've been dancing with a Ninja Turtle and jumping around and dancing with my good friend Eric, and I love these yacht parties. So thank you again and congratulations. It really is fantastic. I won't take up too much time because, as you said, there's a lot of artists here. You've done a fantastic job with the curation, women, Time As in particular. So thank you to you both for not just selecting my work, but for curating my work. And there is a big difference. And I notice it when you guys get together and put the pieces together. So it's it's an honor. And this piece in particular, because it means a lot to me artistically, um, technically, and emotionally as well. So I'll talk you through that briefly. Um, what you're looking at is a black and white photograph, hopefully, with some orange on it. The original black and white photograph is a direct scan from the negative of the film that I shot it on. So the image, the technique that I used is called blended photography. So basically, I I'll talk you through the kind of why behind it. Really, is that I was going through a time when I felt I was having real challenges with my own mental health, and I felt like I was kind of in two places at once, and I wanted somehow to portray that, but in a very organic way. And so I kind of looked into different ways of doing that through double exposure and came across, blended exposure, which a friend of mine kind of really taught me through. And basically, those two images, left and right, are on the same single negative frame. And so technically, I go through and I shoot a roll of film with half of the lens covered up with tape. Um, so just exposing one half. And then I rewind the film to the beginning and I shoot it again and shooting the other half of the frame. So I'm never exactly 100% certain what is going to come out, but I have an idea. And the frames that came from this particular role were a real gift and exactly what I was trying to achieve with this feeling of being in two different worlds at the same time. And then to kind of finish it off, I felt like I needed to put myself back into the image. So I decided to apply digital colored paint to the images, and that is what really the orange represents there. I'll stop talking now.
And what just to expand on the other artists that are in the exhibition, what is surprising is that just next to you we have the black and white image by Issa Russ, and that is also an image of blended exposure, which feels right. It's Gianmarco who placed the images, and you just got it right there, Gianmarco. So that's congrats there. I don't think Isa is with us, but we do have in the audience, we do have Tommy Quark, and we do have Heather Stout. And that's where we are now. Next to the right of Hugo's divine body, you will see a tower, beach tower, which is made by Tommy. Next to Tommy's image, you will have an animation by Heather. So if one of you will be coming on stage, feel free to join us.
Wim, could I add a little something really quick?
Of course.
I just really enjoyed the fact that the first photo that you showed, John Phillips's, I remember being there in New York at that time, and I saw Hugo, and he said that he was hoping to do an epic shoot somewhere in New York, and I had just been to the very spot where this photo was taken, and I said, "Oh, I've got the perfect location for you. It's at the top of this hotel. There's this big room, blah blah blah." And he said, "I know. I just got there." And so it's it's really cool to see this now, because I hadn't seen the product of this epic shoot that John and Hugo had, and it's fantastic. But anyway, thank you again for having me and for curating and selecting my photo, and to Gianmarco as well.
I see Hugo in the audience if he wants to come up.
Sure. And of course, going further, I see that we have Bruna Rotuno on stage with us as well.
Hi guys.
Yes, Bruna. Hi.
Hey, GM everybody. Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, and well, thanks for giving voice and visibility to my work and to all the work of these outstanding artists. And deeply thanks to all the Obscura team and Gianmarco. I can really see you are an amazing architect and interior design. You are amazing. So, well, can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Perfect. So let me, shortly tell something about me and my work. I'm a photographer since 20 years. Photography is my job, but also is my, nourishment, is my artistic exploration, and is my life. And my work is all about capturing dreams and surreal vibes through my portraits. So usually I start with an idea. I create a sort of storyline, but what I really love is let the low chaos create the magical moment when everything comes together. I'm talking to that sandbox, that space is the pose, the light. All is full speed. I didn't see her. I do not wish to be them. To tell the story behind this photo. Retro kicks too. You cannot say a thing. I was chilling in Bali, staying in a villa with a pool, and out of nowhere, a crazy storm rolled in, and there was this little Balinese girl um, that was not allowed, of course, to swim in the pool, but she looked around. She saw that no guests around, and she decided to take a dip. And I quickly went upstairs to the second floor to take a photo from above, like from bird eyes view, just to make the photo dreamy and surreal. And the girl, completely surrounded in this water under the rain, she gave me the best shot. So this is all about my photography. I work, let's say, fluently with what can happen to me. And also, I would like to share to you that this photo, this is very funny because this photo is part of the first space exhibition by British Journal of Photography, shortlisted to loop on a screen on a satellite. So it's amazing that now she can cruise on the yacht. So I think it's a great location for her. So what I can say, I'm just thrilled, stoked to be among all these amazing artists, and grateful to you because really you're doing a lot for all of us. So deeply thanks.
I absolutely love this work, and just to see how it's like it's swimming, like it really fit fit the mood of the yacht itself. So truly love even the texture of the water here. Absolutely amazing, and thank you very much for talking about it and for being here on the space with us.
Thank you
Wim,
very much to you
do you
all.
wanna add something? Yeah, 100%. Wim, do you wanna add something to that?
No, we can continue the discussion in the jacuzzi. That'll be the appropriate place.
Okay, perfect.
And in the meantime, I also noticed that Heather came on, and since we are all, or many of us, just still gathered in front of your piece, Heather, it's not difficult to recognize because it's the one that is moving in a real Barbie-like atmosphere.
It did become a little Barbie. GM, everyone. I am Heather. I'm a photographer and interdisciplinary artist. I work in many mediums. I kind of wanted to start off by giving an early birthday, happy birthday to Wim. So in front of all the people here, happy birthday. And thank you very, very much.
That's so kind.
Well, it's just a few hours away for you, right?
You're really early.
Thank you to both you and Temaz for this beautiful curation and including this piece. It is my first animated piece minted to the blockchain, and I'll be very, very brief because it's pretty in your face, and there's words there too, so you must not speak. It was part of the alchemy call with Getty, Candy DAO, or I'm sorry, Candy Digital, Palm DAO, and Obscura. And I couldn't be more thrilled that some of my more experimental work was welcomed onto the blockchain in such a wonderful way, and to also be a part of this beautiful yacht exhibition. Really well done. It was a project where we were taking a piece from the 1800s, one of the Getty images, and I spent a long time looking at it like, how would I work through this? But when I started to cut away a lot of the negative space from the image, I was really struck by the wheel, the words on the wheel, which I understand and also think it's very cool, the historical part of that, because you certainly don't want to speak to the man at the wheel while he's steering your ship. But there was a lot more that came in there, which I think, I intentionally made it pink and softer, use a woman's mouth, to kind of put a little bit of a play on the male gaze that I see a lot of, and some more violent imagery of women's mouths that we can see. But the main thing was, do we silence ourselves? Are we silenced? Do we speak to the man at the wheel? And I think it's a question that we live with, and especially for women. I won't go too far into that, but I just couldn't be more honored and thrilled that you've selected this piece and one of my more experimental pieces as well, and displayed it this way. So thank you very, very much for including me.
Well, it really fit well, and it immediately comes out since it's animated, of course, it's really striking. Um, we're all of us here. It's quite an amazing experience to be so many of us present, looking at the art while the artist is giving feedback and background. So I love that. We also have Naz Nazima, who was also selected. Nazima, please go ahead and explain something about your work.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nazima. Do you hear me well?
Yes, perfectly.
First of all, I want to thank the curators for this party exhibition. I'm so excited to be here. I'm an art photographer and Web3 newcomer. My source of inspiration is human nature. Mostly, I do conceptual nude photographs with post-production and sometimes self-portraits. The lavender is the name of my piece, is exactly a self-portrait. For a very long time, I wore belly button piercing. Being a curious person, I always find a lot of different information. And one day I learned about chakras and that the lower abdomen and navel are an important energy center. Any piercing or trauma carries negative consequences. And while I hesitated whether or not to remove the piercing, my side got up to a bunch of dried lavender in a vase on the coffee table. And knowing it's a healing and calming, lavender's healing and calming properties, I imagined a sprig of lavender in place of a piercing as a kind of image of recovering energy and, in particular, creative energy. That's how this photo was created. And to be honest, it was not so easy to insert the sprig instead of piercing. And I want to end with the words of my friend. I hope he's here too on the board. Like an essential oil before you go to sleep, put a drop of lavender in your life. Thank you for your attention.
I just want to say that this piece is absolutely one of my favorites. And the way it's so delicate with that flower and the texture of the skin and even the background, which truly kind of blend in with the body itself. It's absolutely amazing the way you made this image. So huge congratulations for that, and thank you very much for sharing with us all of the behind the scenes. Okay, I think we can move. Wim, Taimas, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I wanted to say it's also one of my favorites. I love this image. It's so delicate and beautiful. Thank you so much for submitting their work. And I'm very happy it's been selected. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you for being selecting my work.
All right. I see we also have a couple of more people that were selected here in the audience. I see Amina and Richie, Omashoted. Also, I think there are 3 more people who have their work in the gallery. If you guys want to talk about your work.
I think we can go with Oma. Oma shot it. You were here before, maybe you were rugged, but we were looking at your piece and we are absolutely fascinated with it. and the contrast and even the depth of the way they're looking at each other. So maybe you want to tell us something more about the piece, Oma?
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hello, welcome. Once again, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be part of this job. Thank you to moderators and everyone. So the name of my name is Oma and I am a mobile photographer from Nigeria. The name of that photograph I put up for the exhibition is called Between Us, and it's to show the different strengths of women despite their skin color, despite whatever they are going through. They just keep their sadness, their happiness between them most of the time because it feels like they're the only ones that know what they are going through. So I just put up that concept of two um females looking at each other with different color, with just passion in their eyes, and just trying to tell each other through the looks that they understand what they are both going through and they'll be there for each other. So it's just like a photograph to promote unity, despite the color, despite any disability or anything. So that's just it.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. Bruna, I think you have your mic on and we hear some sirens on the background. Do you want to add something to that, Bruna?
Sorry, I can't hear you. My network is really bad.
Oh, no worries. Your artwork is absolutely amazing. And Wim, if you want to say some words on that or time out, please take the lead on that.
Yes, as I told earlier, it's really an image where you combine tenderness and as a viewer, you feel, or at least I felt immediately attracted to your image, and it showed love. And well, thank you for bringing that to us.
Thank you very much.
So, Gianmarco, how many people are on board for the moment?
We have 52 people on board right now, and they are all looking at the artworks right now. So this is absolutely mind blowing. I suspect someone is upstairs just enjoying the sun and the sea breeze on the yacht, but like most of the people are here looking at the artworks, and I'm blown away to see like this many people enjoying the gallery and like being here together. So yeah. 53 now. Wow, we're 54. Wow. We are growing, guys. We're growing. Can we let I don't even know many we are in this space right now. I suspect should be we are over 100 here. Oh my gosh, I'm getting nervous. I don't want to see those numbers. But yeah, it would be amazing to have all of the 100 people in the gallery as well, because like that's where you're supposed to be to enjoy the artworks, guys. So just click one of the links on pinned on the tweet and join us in the gallery. And yeah, in the meantime, we can move to the next artist, Wim, right?
Yes, of course. We still have Richie. We have Imre, Turquoise. So of course, we'd love to hear you.
I think we are very close to Armanda's piece. So why don't we go with our Armanda Boom. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Once again, I'm sorry if I'm not. Please take the lead and tell us something more about your artwork.
Okay, hello everyone. Do you hear me?
100%.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, hello. I should excuse for my English. This is my first audio presentation on space, so I'm a little bit nervous. Yeah, and by the way, my real name is Amina. Armanda is like I just created this name many years ago. So, okay, the piece I submitted is called Sicilian Defense. I'd like to, first of all, I'd like to tell a little bit more about the collection this piece is a part of. The collection is called Return of the Chess Queen. There are 4 works, and this work is the central one of this collection. Why I chose this name for the artwork dedicated to chess? Because Sicilian defense, the essence of this defense is to quickly capture the central position on the chessboard. And in the same way, I believe that my work, which is named after this defense, captures the heart of viewer from the first seconds with this asymmetric lines and retro atmosphere. I wanted to create such atmosphere to revive distant and but beautiful memories in the soul of the viewer, of the person who will be looking at this piece. And finally, I wanted to add that the chess team wasn't chosen by chance. This collection was dedicated to the memory of my younger brother. He was a very talented chess player. So I really wanted my first NFT collection to be dedicated to him. So, and I hope he would like it. That's all. Thank you.
I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And I gotta say something, like, I'm actually Sicilian. So when I saw this piece the first time, I couldn't understand why it was like Sicilian defense or something. Because of course, like I have no idea how to play chess, or at least I do, but not an advanced level. And it's so interesting to actually know that, like the hat and the whole behind the scenes of this artwork actually has a meaning with the Sicilian defense. So as far as I understand, Sicilian defense is like a chess move, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's a series of chess moves. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Each
I
defenses.
absolutely love it. And yeah, I can actually
Thank
see
you.
in her eyes that there is some kind of like defense, or like kind of detaching from the observer. She's not looking directly to the eyes of the viewer, and I absolutely love the mood. Once again, I'm not a chess player, but I can feel the mood of the artwork. So huge congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And also,
Thank
just want to point out that your speech was absolutely perfect. So thank you very much for taking the courage to come here. You guys, like, this is a super chill space. Are chill and friendly, and we don't bite. And for anyone here in the listener side, if you want to come when we go to the right room, if you want to come on stage and talk about your artwork, just feel home. Like, don't stress. It's a very friendly space, and Amina, you did an absolutely brilliant job. So thank you very much for taking the courage on that, and love your artwork.
Thank you very much.
Vim, Tamaz, any other words on this piece?
Hi, Amina. Thank you for submitting your work. I loved your piece, and wait, I'm trying to move towards it on the yacht. 1 second.
Just teleport to me, Tamaz. I'm literally in front of the artwork.
You know, my it becomes very slow. My browser. Okay, I found it. I'm here. Yeah, it truly was one of the pieces in the whole submissions that truly stood out to me. So congratulations, your work is really beautiful.
Thank you.
Nice. Yeah, please go ahead, Vim.
No, I couldn't agree more. Well, of course, I was making the selection together with Taima, so we have discussed your work earlier, and it struck out for sure. So thank you, and let's move to Imre, maybe Turquoise. You're among us as well. Welcome.
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Perfect.
100%. Hello,
Hi.
hello. Welcome on the stage.
Yeah, it's been fascinating so far. It's my first time in one of these. I'm just wandering around the yacht and looking at all these amazing pieces. So thank you to Gianmarco and everyone who put this together. My piece is called "The Eye Never Lies," and I took this in New York when I was at NFT NYC. And I mean, a few years ago, I didn't ever think I would go to New York. It's something I've always wanted to do, but it was like a dream. So it was amazing to actually get there. And when I'm in a new city, I like to get lost, basically, to really, explore and find a connection with the people in the area, like to get a real feel and a flavor for the city. I think for me, that's what works best. So I actually had a recommendation to eat something because I was starving, and then someone I met at the event said, "Look, there's this good Chinese place. Check it out." So when I went there, I got lost, but I stumbled across this really cool place with a drop-down split door, and the light was really interesting, and I just caught this moment at the right time, at the right place, and it really connected with me how the reality, I mean, our perception of reality can be distorted through different textures and fabrics. I love working with different lighting conditions and textures in my work, with a focus on finding beauty in the mundane, in the everyday, things that are often overlooked. And this really stood out to me, and I took it, and this was one of my favorite moments in New York. So thank you very much for selecting it for this exhibition, and I'm happy to take any questions that you have.
Hi, Turquoise. It was very nice to meet you in Lisbon as well. I remember we met there, and I really loved your piece. I'm very happy it's included in this exhibition. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely brilliant piece. And once again, it's always very interesting to know about like the behind the scene and know how you actually ended up like taking this photograph. So I think this is like very specific to photography. Like they do have a background, like a behind the scenes on the way they were shot, especially of course for open air photographies, which is something I don't necessarily see with 3D art. I'm a 3D artist as well myself, so I shouldn't be saying that, but that's how it is. Like when you make a 3D artwork, you probably spend like months even just thinking about it before you even start creating it. But with photography, everything is so natural sometimes. For open air photography, of course, like it's so natural and you don't need to stage it. So the whole mood it's set with the surroundings and with the before the shot and during the shot and maybe sometimes even after it. So it's a whole story that's going with the photography itself, with that particular instant that you clicked. So absolutely love to know more about that piece. Thank you very much for sharing those
Yeah,
things.
I
Thank
don't
you.
think there is any photograph that doesn't have a story. There is always a story. Always.
I mean, there's always a story in every artwork, I guess. But with photography, it's more into the in real life thing. So it's more of like the emotions you're feeling in that particular moment. And yeah, unless the photography is not like a studio one or it's like a staged one or designed one, it's very natural, I guess. And that's also part of the of the magic of the photography itself. So absolutely love these kind of things, to be honest. And yeah, Wim, do you want to, time out, do you guys want to add something more? Otherwise, we can move to another photography, which is not exactly as like in real life as this one. It's actually probably the most abstract photography we have on the exhibition nowadays. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it should be Richie Sakra
Yes.
photography. Yeah,
Hi,
like that
Richie.
one is absolutely abstract, I guess. Can you tell us something
Hi,
more?
of course, and hi, and thank you. And also, thank you so much for putting this amazing initiative and project together in such an incredibly cool venue. And full marks to you and everybody. And it's a privilege and an honor to be sitting here amongst such talent. It might be worth me giving a little bit, and I won't be long, about my life. And I have a portfolio of interests. I'm not only a photographer, I'm also a psychologist, and I'm heavily involved in the abolition of modern slavery. And I work with somebody from the BBC on that. So all these things inform my photography. And what I do is look for things that aren't obvious, because that's what I've done most of my life. And I find things which to everybody else may look very ordinary, but to me don't, because I think there's a reality beyond what you can see. And this is the case here. And this is simply a 17th century harbour in southern England that just has a few fishing boats in it and has metal grids going down into the water. And I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it again, and I could see reflections coming as the tide was changing. So I knew what I could get out of this. And I stood there for about 2 hours waiting for that tide to get to the optimum amount. I have edited it, but only lightly with Lightroom. But that's essentially what it is. And for me, it was that juxtaposition of solid reality into alchemy. And that's why I called it alchemy, into something which is solid, which is real. And if you follow it down, it becomes distorted. You become unsure exactly what it is, and it dissipates into something completely different. And that was the motivation. That's what I could see, and that's what I wanted to portray. And I thank you so much for including in the gallery. Thank you.
Wow, I'm absolutely in love with the description and the way you told us about the behind the scenes. So this is not that abstract at all. Like this also falls between the in real life kind of experience itself. And thank you very much for actually correcting me on what I said before, because once again, like this proves that it's so important to actually see, to actually know what the artist was thinking about when he did the artwork or the photography, whatever it is. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Taimaz, Vim, do you wanna add something, anything to that?
Well, we felt that it was an addition to have your piece there, Richie. It also widens the specter of the whole exhibition into some more reflective work. It is you might you might name it abstract, or you might find deeper meaning, but for sure it makes us think, and we're happy to have your background with it, and to have you included into what we are doing in with Obscura. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much, and I'm very happy for it to be described as abstract. So I appreciate being here, but I'm always looking for things that are not there or not on the surface. So thank you so much.
Absolutely lovely. Yeah, I
We
think we
we
have
also have
Trevor now.
Trevor Trainer is present there as well. If you look around in the gallery, you will immediately recognize Trevor's image because it's the only split image. It's a portrait, so we're glad to showcase portrait photography as well, and it's a black and white portrait. It's part of a series on hip hop artists, and I see we are, for the moment, most of us are on the other side in the gallery, but you will find the portrait in the middle of the other side. So welcome, Trevor. Nice to see you.
GM, thank you, Wim. Thanks, y'all. Congratulations. Thanks to all the curators and Wim and Tomas, and thanks to all the artists. It's an honor and a pleasure. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I was trying to run to a quiet place. Actually just got home, so I'm excited to jump on board and maybe jump off board, like Matt said, jump in the water. Yeah, well, I'll make it brief. I'll machine gun fire 1 minute. Yeah, I'm happy to be a part of this space and be on the yacht. Again, thank you to our host. And my name is Trevor Trainer. I'm a photographer. I dabble in producing and directing. I've been doing photography for about 20 years. And I started off in music, and my photography crossed over because I was focused on hip hop. So this particular image is of the legendary Questlove, drummer for the Roots crew, and is one of 17 pieces in my super rare Genesis. One of the pieces is a fun Easter egg by Barry Sutton. And also one of the pieces is Black Thought, Questlove's partner in crime from the Roots. So in a nutshell, this particular photograph was about 2005 or 6 or 7, around that era. Huge festival in San Francisco, in a parking lot that they set up a huge tent and everything. And I just didn't necessarily want to take the live photos. I have access to that. I really wanted backstage portraits. And so I hopped the fence, snuck backstage, and, acted like I was supposed to be there. And that's kind of the start of my hip hop portrait career. And I did a handful of photographs in this fashion with Black Thought, and, there's Mos Def's in the collection, Rakim, A Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, a lot of golden era legendary hip hop artists. And to wrap it up, the 50-year anniversary of hip hop is in 8 days on August 11th. So it felt like a great time to drop this collection. And, I reached out to 96 Studios. Shout out to them. Shout out to Focus Block for including this collection as their Genesis super rare space. And yeah, just grateful to be here. A lot of talent on and off the stage, and shout out to the B-side crew and Obscura, and just thank you, everybody. I'm enjoying listening to everyone's story, and yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting journey. So thanks for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Welcome. Good to have you, Trevor. In the meantime, Gianmarco, I really feel a little bit embarrassed because we are the first gallery on board and we have taken up so much time already. But there are still so many interesting artworks on the other floors, which were selected by you and by Black and by Unchained. We want to give them attention as well. Let me just give a shout out to some other artists of the photography space present here.
Yes, please, Wim. Yeah, 100%. Let's shout out everyone in this room first. Yeah.
So I see that Svetlana Bekiarova is there. You have one of the pieces. I see Eric Witzo, Eric X. Neo Sutras has a very moving piece, literally and figuratively. We have Sparkles, Melina. We have Ali Jahanara, Sorke Abi, Omid Shalmani. So we are very blessed to have so many of the photography artists present here, and shout out to all of you. So to everyone present, please go and discover if you are in the exhibition room, you can see the authors of the works are visible. So please discover it, and let's also give some attention to the other beautiful art that is out there, and have Black lead us to the next room as well.
Yep, 100%. Thank you very much for everyone involved in the photography art room. And it was absolutely amazing to see all of these artworks. And yeah, let's now move to the 3D art room, which is going to be the next one. And before we move into that, I just want to give a quick preview of what's going to be next. So this room, as you guys can see, from an architectural point of view, it was made with these wires in the middle of the room. And as you can see, like every single detail from an architectural point of view, it's very organic, indeed minimalistic. So this is what I feel like good architecture should be. Should be organic with the materials, with the mood, but it should not necessarily be something unrealistic. And when it comes to metaverse, sometimes I like to think about a new gallery. And when I think about a metaverse gallery, what I always try to do is try to make something that's gonna feel kind of real, but also providing the mood of something that's completely new and that's breaking the rules of in real life physics. So, for example, on this yacht, we didn't need to have like a bedroom or a kitchen or too many spaces where, you know, like you would just do nothing. So I decided to put as many artworks as possible here. Yeah, Ninja, there is no kitchen on board, but we can order kebab anyway. And guys, if you're in oncyber, you're gonna see the chat is going crazy right now. And so basically, the next room is where you're supposed to find like the crew quarter on a in real life yacht. But instead of doing that, I decided that it was much better to have another art gallery instead of that. So if we move forward from the photography room, we're gonna find first of all the staircase, which is gonna connect all of the 3 floors of this gallery. And behind the staircase, there's gonna be the 3D art room. So let's move there. And I like if you have any questions on the yacht itself, or you know like the design or anything else, feel free to ask now. Otherwise, I would invite all of the 3D artists to come on stage and maybe talk about their submission. We're gonna follow the order right now, so we're gonna start with the MAB first, and then from here we're gonna talk about each one of the artworks in an anti-clockwise order. So Mab, if you're around, that's the right moment to come on stage. And if you guys have any questions while we're waiting for Mab, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, I want to jump on the mic quickly. I just want to say thank you, John, for that amazing experience we have right now, but also especially that we met in real life and we've did the selection outside in your garden on that projector. And that was so much fun going through all the amazing artworks and trying to select them, which was absolutely not an easy task to do. And this is such a good memory that we met in real life and just could share these vibes together in like, yeah, not just the metaverse, but also in real life, right? And now whenever you meet in the metaverse, you have this much deeper connection. And I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much.
Man, I still remember that night. For those of you who don't know, guys, like we tweeted about it. So if you scroll on mine or Ninja's feed, you're gonna find the picture we're talking about. But we basically were in the garden with the projector, and we were looking at the the submissions, and we literally spent more than 2 hours to cover just like not even 50% of the submissions, and it was amazing because like. It was very, very fun because like we actually agreed on the pieces that we really wanted on exhibition. And this kind of proves that those pieces are truly meant to be here. They are absolutely amazing. And I'm a 3D artist myself, and one of the things that I was looking for was the like how difficult is it from a technical point of view, and what's the message of this piece. So it's absolutely amazing to see that me and Ninja, we were absolutely aligned on those pieces. And Ninja, do you want to say something more on what led you to like choose the pieces, and what were you looking for when you were curating them? Before we start, like Mab just said on the chat that she's is not going to be able to come on stage and talk, so maybe we can just talk about the pieces ourselves.
Yeah, I think for sure. Like, yeah, overall, we've been both looking for a very good execution, right, on the pieces we've seen, but especially also like I personally like a lot when I see some good story, or when there's like some emotions getting triggered. So there are several pieces in here where we both had like similar emotions going from being deeply touched in a way from that storytelling, and other pieces where we had a good laugh about, like at the same time. So that was instantly. And yeah, overall, you're gonna try to find that piece that has like this message and originality, and where you can understand like, hey, okay, there's this story behind it, and probably we don't even get all of what the artist is telling us here, but you see like it connects with you in a way. And yeah, I feel like I could probably speak quickly about the piece here from MAP, which we selected. For example, he's getting the Web3 community very well with the Pepes running around here. I really love how the little green Pepe on the left is walking on the ground in such a funny way. And when you're looking at his legs, on the right leg, there sometimes is a little Pepe kind of floating or swimming in that leg. So there's a lot of attention to detail in this piece. And it's actually called the Meme Factory, which is something we truly see in this space. And yeah, I just love it. Back to you, Jan.
I couldn't agree more. I absolutely love this piece, and the way like the animation runs so smoothly, and it's like a perfect loop. So of course, like the texture moving, and I remember when you made me notice the little detail on the leg. That was absolutely insane, and this kind of proves how much attention to detail Mab actually put into this artwork. So 100% love this piece, and yeah, I couldn't imagine it in a better way, to be honest. Okay, I think we can move to the next piece, which is by Ryak. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm blown away by this artwork. Like this artwork, like this 3D animation, it's something else. And Ryak, I don't know if you are here on the space, but if you are, please come on stage, because I gotta ask you a question. Because I remember I also saw this one in the AI art open call. Black, correct me if I'm wrong. So my question is like, would be like, how is AI involved with this piece as well? Because like me and Black, I remember when we were looking at the pieces, we were like, okay, how is this AI? Because like it really seems to be 3D modeling. But oh, Ryak, you're here. Black, correct me if I'm. Do you remember when we were like looking at this piece, man?
Yeah, I was when you and I were looking at it, and we were like, I think this was in two different open calls, but I was going to choose it for the AI one, and I was like, but I swear to God, this looks like it's Blender, and it looks like it's 3D, and then we saw that it was in the 3D open call as well, and I know that you were going to choose it for that, and so we throw it into this gallery, but yeah, this is quite a crazy piece, because it says in the very beginning, even in the animation, it says from Dolly. So I think it's I'm not sure what the process was, but it's wild. It's very well done, obviously, very well polished. But yeah, I would definitely love to know more sort of the background and some of the process as well.
Yeah, right. Please tell us something more about this piece, and how did you involve AI and 3D modeling? Because like I wish this is like nowadays with AI, you can really tell, but I'm pretty sure like this is a 3D model as well, right?
Yeah, hi everybody. This is what you see right here. It's absolutely 3D, and when you just get deep inside the microscope, then you just see what the DALL-E was have made, trained by my collection, the original collection, the digital life forms, and this is the drop, like when my collection comes to AI, and this is a combination of my art with AI.
Oh, got it, got it. So now I do understand how this is AI and 3D as well at the very same moment. So yeah, thank you very much for explaining that. Do you want to like very quickly tell us something more about this piece and the behind the scenes since you're here on the stage?
Oh, yeah, I can say that it was created in Cinema 4D with Octane Render and After Effects and the DALI, same on. So it's about the discovery of digital life form and their potential impact on our world. So I just use my skills to explore the intersection of art and technology. So pushing the boundaries of what is possible in digital realm. I can say a few words about, you know, the every exhibition, where it's in Armenia, Cyprus, Kazakhstan, the Philippines, China, France, United States, Italy, Indonesia, or maybe right here in Metaverse on this boat or other verses. So this is it's reaffirms my belief in the power of art to foster connections, ignite the dialogue, and I know it's like it's ultimately the global reach of art fuels the creative fire and encourage to continue exploring the new frontiers. So just I don't know, check out my other arts. I have some of personal stuff, something like when you when you get to use your mind. Well, so just check it out. Go on Foundation, just see what I have done.
Love it, 100%, and it's so important to actually see all of the details in a piece because, like, this really feels like a complex one, and I love to see how you also involved AI into this piece itself, and it's not an easy task. Like I've attempted it myself as well in some of my 3D artworks to kind of use AI as well, and in this one it looks so natural and it truly blends with the whole 3D mood, and it's not like breaking it and becoming something else like a different media. And this of course doesn't apply only to AI. It's like every single time you try to combine multiple medias, you need to be very conscious of what you're doing in order to get like the result in the most professional way. And this piece truly feels amazing. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing those behind the scenes. And like if you want to say something on that, like I know you are like a true AIOG and you know truly a lot from this, and it's so interesting to see that even you with your experience and knowledge, you were kind of trying to understand where AI was actually involved. So what do you think about that, Black?
I find it fascinating. I love seeing the implementation of all the different tools coming together into one thing. I think this is obviously like a pinnacle example of that. And I think that the way that the future unfolds with a lot of tools, we're going to see more and more of that, and it's going to become more and more seamless. And I think that's only a good thing in terms of the expressive ability of artists to be able to accomplish the goals and what they kind of and their intention is when they set out to create a piece.
Couldn't agree more, 100%. Okay, let's move to the next piece. And I know Scott asked me if we can actually speak about this piece. And Ninja, I want you also to provide your feedback on this one. But I'm gonna go first because like I truly love this piece and the way it's called Forgotten Soldier by anyway. Anyway, like I truly love the way the materials are being used on this piece, and this kind of like cartoon shader that you applied on each one of the materials. Truly, I mean, it's truly something that you don't see every day, and I know for a fact that it requires a lot of skills to get this kind of this effect with a cartoon shader is not something easy you would do. And like this piece resonates with me on a personal level. It kind of reminds me of solitude and the way you sometimes, like, all of your efforts are not immediately recognized, and you really feel like a forgotten soldier. But at the end of the day, you gotta keep pushing and keep making something that's true to yourself and that's like important to yourself. And for these reasons, for the reasons that I just said, and how I really love this piece from every point of view, Scott, I'm happy to say that I just placed a bid on it on Foundation, and I don't want to ask everyone to not outbid me because I didn't sell any yachts just yet. So, like this, if I like, if you outbid me, I hope I will be able to outbid you once again, because I truly want this piece to be in my private collection. It's absolutely amazing. And talking about this, Ninja, please, do you want to add something to that?
Of course. Yeah, I think that, yeah, this piece was like, we both fell in love when we've seen it. And I know the artist for a bit of a time. I've once seen a artwork of him, and I tried to buy this, but I got outbid when I was AFK. So I was really happy to see him participating. And this piece especially, I love the connection between tech and nature. And here we see like how nature is like outliving us. As you can see, like that helmet from that whatever cyborg human, it was like, there's the skull even inside, so that one's died, and you see nature is so beautifully around it with all the small butterflies, the centipede, the colibri. There are so many animals going around, and it's just so beautiful to watch. And I feel like there's a lot of work flowing into that piece to get all these little details so well animated. So big shout out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Scott, huge congratulations on this piece once again, and hopefully it's gonna stay in my wallet. So let's move to the next one. We have Searching for Love, and I know this one was of the pieces that Ninja liked the most. So Ninja, I'm gonna I'm gonna give you the lead on this one. Do you wanna say something about you actually led me into all of the details, so I think you're the best one to explain it.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm a big fan of any kind of reptiles, especially turtles and dinosaurs. So this one, yeah, I love this thing. Like, I think it's called like, so, yeah, Searching for Love. The T-Rex who is searching for love, but you can see he has no connection, so there's no Wi-Fi. On the other side, you see like the JPEG, which is not loading. And there are so many small, cool details. And I'm always looking for the attention to detail that the artist put into their artwork. So that was really cool. When I've seen that, I instantly smiled and put it on my shortlist, and very happy it made it to the finalists.
Love it. Okay, so yeah, I really loved when you told me, like, have you seen the little Wi-Fi icon and the two T-Rex falling in love? And like this T-Rex piece, it's like, of course, like it's inspired by the, I don't really know, it's like Google. I think it was Google. Like when you don't have internet connection, it will just show this T-Rex game. And we've all been there. Like, we've all played the T-Rex game when we didn't have internet connection. So it's truly amazing and very, very, very well done from a technical point of view. So let's move to the next one. The next one is Love and Destiny by PS Creative. And once again, guys, if you are here on the stage, on the space, and you want to talk about your piece, feel free to jump on stage and talk about it a little bit. Otherwise, me and Ninja or the other curators for other open calls, we're going to take the lead and try to give our feedbacks on them. So the next one is Love and Destiny by PS Creative, and it's absolutely amazing. Like, you can see the full story of this piece. You can see like how it changed the from color to black and white, and it kind of emphasized the emotions. And when she's like, I'm looking at it right now, and she's like coming in the frame, and the colors are coming with her as well. So kind of show the love that she's bringing to his life. And it's absolutely interesting to see, and actually inspiring as well, to see like how we all define love and emotions in different ways. And when you look at an artwork like this one, you truly get inspired to do more things and to be more kind of genuine with what you're doing. So huge congratulations for that piece, PS Creative. Absolutely amazing. Very, very well done from a technical point of view. And for sure, one of my favorite ones in the exhibition. I don't want to say that, but yeah, I must say that.
Yeah, it's all favorites, right? Favorite of the favorites.
That's the point.
Yeah,
They are all favorites.
Yeah. It was the same for me. Like I love especially the start when there is that solo guy and like everything is dark. He's probably in a bad mood, and then that young lady comes and brings the color and the love to his life, and then they have this whole journey together until the end when she's leaving and he's grown old, and then again it starts from the beginning. That's showing the cycle of life so beautiful. Such a good, very, very good piece.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's move now into this other room. But before we go into that, I want to share some details on the architecture of this room here from the yacht point of view. So basically, when I was designing this room, I wanted to place as many artwork as possible in the walls. But at the same time, I didn't want to cover the windows of the room itself. So what I did is like I used these wires, and this is actually where the whole wired theme came from. And you're gonna see like wires all over the yacht in the first room, in the obscura room as well, and like moving forward in the upper rooms, you're gonna find wires as well. And basically, they all came from this room. And with wires, you're actually able to curate the space and move the artworks up and down and scale them up or down in the wall without fully obscuring the windows. And this really feels like something I would do for a in real life project as an architect. Like I would find a way to put an artwork in front of a window without covering the window completely. So that's why we are using wires in this room and all over the yacht as well. And if you move forward into this little room at the end of the 3D Art 1, you're going to see the portal room. So we have 4 doors, and each one of those doors are going to be able, like the owner of one of the 33 editions of the yacht. And by the way, just to mention it, I'm going to do a quick self promo. Like this yacht is now for sale. So if any one of you wants to buy one edition of this yacht, it's for sale right now on oncyber. I listed it just before this drop event, and it's going to be there for the whole length of the event itself. The price is 1 ETH per edition. There are going to be 33 editions. And as soon as the event is over, I'm going to unlist all of the remaining ones, and I'm going to list them for 1.5, which is going to be the price moving forward. So this is your chance to get the yacht for a 30% less, 33% less. So this portal room, basically you can replace any one of those doors and put a portal to any other of your 3D galleries in oncyber. And since we're here, we do have Shunek. I hope I pronounce it correctly. we have you here on the stage. So do you want to take the lead and let us know like what this piece means for you and why you did it? And I truly like this piece and the texture work you did and the overexposure, and absolutely an amazing piece. Take the lead, please.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you very much for choosing my piece. I'm very glad to be here. So I usually do not like talking too much about my artworks and in general about art, because I think sometimes the magic is lost when you explain everything. But I'll be short with this description of this one. It's a bit longer piece, like it's not something you usually see. It's like 3.5 minutes long, so some people might find it boring, but the piece is generally about me and my struggles as an artist that I go through with like my mental health, my physical health, and everything in between of that. So I'm going to explain like a few aspects of the piece that you can see in the start where the camera pans around all these like eggs and hands in the ground. Those are all my like previous pieces that I made throughout my career in NFTs. And so this is like that's why the piece is called like infinite introspection, because I'm just introspecting on everything I've done in this space. And the big heads sort of things in the air that are shaped like a sphere, cube, and a pyramid are a play on the you know those toys for kids where you have like a circular hole and you learn to put circle in the circular hole, square into square hole, and etc. So this is basically a play on that, where the holes are kind of like what society expects of you. Like you need to be square to fit into this environment. You need to be a sphere to fit into this environment. And then when you are a different shape, when you are someone that is like misshapen, you don't really fit too much anywhere. So these heads are like a physical constructs of those societal societal norms. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And it took me like a year and a half to finish this piece from start to finish, from the concepting, from all the sculpting and setting it all up in Unreal Engine, setting up all the cameras. It was like a bit painful to finish this piece, both like technically and mentally. But yeah, I kind of, and in the end, like the last scene is a real footage of me. I was like in my room with my camera trying to record myself and then edit it later, and like many other things. So yeah, and the piece is like sort of an loop. So that's why I named it Infinite Introspections, because you can, at the end of the piece, it goes to like this full bright white light and then it starts over. And so that's pretty much how it goes in my head. Like you never stop introspecting and rethinking your things and your problems and stuff. So I think that's what a lot of artists can relate to, is like constantly reevaluating, rethinking what you've done and your artwork and everything else. So yeah, thank you very much.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, first of all, as Ninja also said, like 1.5 years in the making. Like this is true consistency, man. For real though. Like I can tell the struggle, internal both and maybe artwork struggle to make this piece. And huge congrats for like finding the strength to actually finish it. And it's absolutely amazing. And once again, we can see like a cross media kind of work where you actually put some footage of yourself at the end. And this was actually one of the questions I was going to ask, that like the end footage, they are so real that, I mean, is this really 3D? And you just told me it's not. And
yeah, no, that's
man,
not
if
3D,
that was
no.
3D, I mean, that would
Yeah,
have been even...
I would be the best 3D artist in the world if
Yeah,
that was
for
3D.
real,
So
for real,
yeah,
though.
no.
No, but it's absolutely amazing and very, very, very well done. And Ninja, do you want to add something to this before we move to the next piece? And of course, like, thank you very much for sharing all of the behind the scenes and the meanings of this piece. I know how difficult it is when we have like such an deep one to communicate it with the others. So thank you very much for finding the words for that.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Yeah, I want to say I truly love this piece. I feel like these sculptures are done so very well with that facial expression. It's not just looking like, yeah, you tried something, but you really nailed it. It's like so well done. And when you look at those different expressions, you can feel what they mean. And it's such a deep piece that yeah, we've been looking at that. I was just like, wow, this is such clearly a winner. And it triggers these emotions when you look at them and you see yourself in it. And yeah, I mean, like 1.5 years on it. That's also it needs a lot of dedication to not just stop and do something else, and you have probably like 10 different ideas or even more during that time, and you just stick to it, and now you have this masterpiece. So very, very well done, and so happy that you submitted your artwork to us.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So I just want to mention one thing, like from technical standpoint, if you had like a full storyboard and you knew what you wanted to make, this wouldn't take that long of a time. But this wasn't. I wanted to go with making this piece without making any storyboards, any templates, and nothing. I just worked on it when I felt like it, and that's why it took so long to make the full finished piece.
You wanted your emotions to flow with the work in progress.
Yeah. I didn't want. I usually never I never sketch. I never. Every time I make something, like I just sit down, have an idea or something, and then I just move on with my work. And the music is also whole soundtrack is custom made. My brother is a musician, so after I was done with all the visuals, then I sat down with him, and then he made all the audio. So everything is custom in this piece. There's almost no 3D assets that I didn't make, except for the Megascans assets and stuff that I use from Unreal to build the environment. So the whole environment has over 400 hand-placed assets from Megascans that I placed one by one to build the whole snowfield. And you can barely see any of it because it's snow, you know. But there's 400 pieces hand placed there just for the environment stuff.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say it's there, but you can see it, but it is there, and I love it.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to see a little bit behind the scenes on my Twitter, on my highlights, I have a thread where I go behind how it looks in Unreal and what I did for certain steps, or how I made it, how I turned all this into snow and stuff. So if anybody's interested in that, feel free to check out my highlights and my threads on my Twitter profile. And yeah, and visit my website is the best way to experience this, because I have a 4K link for the YouTube video where you can see everything, all the details in the sculpture, textures, and yeah, the head itself. There is reason for everything. Why there's no eyes in the head, and
Man, I'm
why
so sorry for interrupt. I don't want to be that guy, but we really need to be conscious of time, because we want to go
sorry,
to the AI
sure.
room as well. And Black is of course he can take the whole day for this.
Sure.
So yeah, thank you very much for that piece. I truly encourage every single one of you guys to go check the artwork in the highlights or in the website. And Raya, if you want to add something, please go ahead, but please be conscious of
I
time,
just want to
man.
say just feedback. All I have seen here and here, it just reminds me that the arts had the potential to be a catalyst for change, promoting empathy, and offering a glimpse into different cultures and perspectives. So, guys, I just want to say thanks to you. That all of you done is just it's really amazing. Thanks for this opportunity, guys.
Oh my gosh, thank you very much for the nice words. I absolutely appreciate them from a personal point of view. Thank you very much. We now have Mahan. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, I hope. Van Gogh capsule. You're here on stage. Do you want to take some time, around 1 minute? Please try to keep it within a minute, to talk about this absolutely amazing piece.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm absolutely excited to be here with all of you, and super grateful for this chance to introduce myself. I'm Mahan, a motion graphic artist and architect. In fact, I studied architecture in university, and for motion graphics, everything was self-taught. Uh, if I want to talk about the background of my work, which is the Van Gogh capsule, I need to say that I've been working on collection called crypto capsules, At first, I wanted to capture those emotions we all feel, like love and hope, and turn them into art pieces. But as I went along, I stumbled upon even more ideas. Uh, I got hit by this wave of nostalgia from my childhood, remembering those fun 8-bit consoles and animes like Akira. And as an as an architect, I love playing around with geometric shapes and architectural designs. Capsules for me is like designing little architectural spaces with spatial mechanical movements. And for Van Gogh capsule has truly been one of my most important projects I ever done, and is my Genesis piece in super rare. This capsule is the result of several months of hard work and research on Van Gogh's paintings, entirely inspired by his artistic masterpieces. And what makes Van Gogh's work truly special is that he used art as a form of therapy and for uplifting his own feelings. In fact, it served as a kind of healing process for him. Van Gogh's art has had a truly unique impact on me too. While I was working on this piece, I felt this incredible connection with his art, like playing with colors, finding their connections, transforming two-dimensional paintings into three-dimensional designs, using real-life images of those scenes and paintings like Starry Night or Coffee Trace or even his bedroom. And putting all these elements together required some serious mental effort. But let me tell you, it was an immensely enjoyable process for me. And if you are
Beautiful
interested,
piece.
thank
Yeah,
you
yeah, please.
so much.
Yeah, no, if you want to add something more, please go ahead. I just want to say that this piece is absolutely amazing, and I love how the capsule kind of open and gives the viewer like a sense of what's inside of it, and everything that's inside. Like, I actually have a question for you. Like, everything inside the capsule is a 3D model themselves, right? Like the little boat, the people, and the flowers. Those are all 3D models that you animated, right? Like all of the
Yes,
different rooms of the capsule.
yes, it's absolutely 3D and inspired by Van Gogh paintings. For people, it's a cover trace at night, and the top of the capsule is inspired by a starry night. And you can find sunflowers and irises in this left and right side of the capsule. And playing with these paintings and making connection and make a harmony between that.
Quickly, I truly love this piece, especially as what really stuck with me was how you actually took so many of Van Gogh's pieces and then combined them and 3D animated them, and the camera goes through all these different scenes, which all are inspired by a piece from Van Gogh. This is so well done. Yeah, very, very good job. Congratulations on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just want to say a big
100%.
thank you for taking the time to listen to me and letting me share my passion for art. It means so much to me. Thank you.
It's absolutely a pleasure, and every single one of the stories that we are listening today, it's truly inspirational. And I love to see how the love you have for Van Gogh art kind of like inspired you. Without kind of like it really inspired you to create something new out of his like his style and his mood. So it's very inspiring from an artist point of view and viewer point of view to see we can actually take something that is like part of our knowledge, part of our history, and make new art out of it. So, kind of history of the emotions that are creating the work itself. And of course, like it's crucial to know that you are a Van Gogh fan to actually appreciate his work even more. It wouldn't be the same if you were just saying like, oh yeah, just pick Van Gogh because like he's a very famous one. but I don't like it. So like in this way, it really makes the work more personal. It gives a lot of depth to it. So huge props for creating that piece out of your, like, one of your favorite artists, I guess. So thank you very much for sharing that, 100%. We are now going to move to the, yeah, thank you very much. We're going to move now to the Rush, which is the next piece, and it's by Giadon NFTs. And I know, Ninja, you truly love this piece, and when you saw it, you were like, man, this has to be on board. You really liked it. So do you want to spend a few words on this piece?
Yeah, I really hate public transport because of this. I mean, for me, it's already a rush when there are just a few people in it. So I always try to avoid it. But it's kind of like how I feel when I use public transport, where like so many people trying to get in this, like how I described it, like an infinite amount of people try to go into an finite vehicle, right? And Rush is so funny, like how it pushes all these people inside. And then at the end, one of the few guys is like, "Hey, don't give up." This just got me very, very hard laughing. Love it.
Absolutely. And I want to also add that from a technical point of view, I truly love this piece, and like, look at the textures and all of the details in the texture. And this is something I always try to look for when I'm looking at that 3D artwork, because like when you create a 3D piece, and that can be anything, like architecture, it can be an artwork, it can really be anything. Like the thing you should always look for is the imperfections in the textures, in the 3D modeling. Like, it's so easy to make something look perfect in 3D, but it's so difficult to make it look rusty and to make it look like like with marks and like used, to make it feel real. And when you look at that that train interior, I guess, like, you can really see that that's like somewhere where people were actually leaving dust, leaving garbage on the ground, and like they were making marks of their of them inside the gallery. Yeah, I phrased it in the worst way possible. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little bit tired now. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, thank you very much for submitting this piece, Gideon NFTs. Truly amazing piece. Let's now move to another one of Ninja's favorite artworks, and this also is one of my favorite artworks, and it's Protection by Design Nina. And like, this piece is so beautiful, so introspective. Uh, from a composition point of view, I think it's just perfect. And I love this piece that much that I asked Ninja actually owns this piece. Like, he bought this NFT from Nina on Foundation, and I've been asking for since the first time I saw it. I'm still asking now, actually. Ninja, please listen. If you could ever sell me this piece, because I truly love this artwork here. And yeah, like the layering and the lines and the post-production with the probably a 2D software like Procreate or something, all of those vertical lines that are like flowing, truly gives me the feeling of like the soul is like moving out of that body. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like resonating on me on a personal level. Ninja, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, it's kind of the same for me. Like, I struggle with speaking about the pieces of Nina. They are so unique, and that style and with the geometric forms combined, it's connecting with me so deeply. And I'm always, when I try to find the words, I'm like, that all sounds so boring. It's really not bringing the vibe that I feel with the pieces. So when Nina dropped this collection like months ago, probably it's like 2-3 months ago, I don't know. Anyway, like, I was buying like almost the whole collection of that. I think I thought maybe it was the whole. I never did that before, and I was just going crazy on it. And I was so happy to see it submitted. And now, like, yeah, I'm like, I don't want to let it go, but I feel like there's another piece in this winners collection we have today in the Yacht, which I truly would like to get. So the price if you want to get it. That would allow me to get the other piece, which we will see soon from Secreverse. So yeah, Nina is truly amazing. She's also part of our team, and she's so talented. She has so many talents, and so happy to have people like her in this space. So yeah, before I go crazy, I better stop here, and thank you so much.
Guys, please buy as many yachts as you possibly can, so I'll be able to afford pieces from Nina, because I truly love them, to be honest. Okay, let's now move to the next artwork, which is Artist Endless Dance by Peepodes01. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, and this artwork is just amazing. I remember I selected one artwork from Peepodes as well in one of my previous open calls on Join, and this one, like the perfect loop and those like little ninjas moving around. Are they ninjas or something? Like they are absolutely amazing, and from a technical point of view, I think it's like absolutely top quality. So yeah, huge congratulations for that.
Yeah,
Ninja,
this
yeah,
is
go ahead.
yeah, it's Peoples, or actually Rafael Erpa is his name. He's like, for me, he's the god of endless loops. All his artworks, they have an infinite loop, and it's done so well. You can just look at it forever and just like try to understand how he made it, how it's how this is possible to be so smooth actually. And yeah, I'm whenever I'm checking his artworks, I'm kind of like just stuck in front of the monitor enjoying it, and kind of forget what I actually wanted to do. So very, very happy to have him here in the Yacht today.
Yep, 100%. Let's now go back to the main room, and we're gonna look at the Meg City by Calder Moore right now. And wow, this piece is another incredibly well done artwork, and this basically has everything we talk about so far, like the cartoon shader, which I really like, the all of the rust and imperfections in the building, and the insane amount of details that are put into this artwork as well. Like they truly make it an outstanding work of art. So absolutely love it. Ninja, do you want to say something on this as well?
Yeah, it's kind of like same what you just said. Like there are like so many details, and I just love to look at it and kind of try kind of stop it and see what's happening in this piece. It also reminds me about like some old school science fiction movies, and just get those vibes from it. It's so beautifully done.
Yep, 100%. Let's now move quick to Rebecca's artwork, Incubus. Rebecca is doing this absolutely amazing piece of work with the like this cone head is very distinctive of her style, and I'm just fascinated by how many hands and things are going on right now. This is such an introspective piece, such a dark one, and I'm a dark soul, so I just enjoy looking at this piece and the red of her skin, and even look at the details on the fingers, like the black ones. You can really see that that were a lot of effort put into the like staging of this piece. Absolutely amazing one. Just love Rebecca's style. Ninja, any take on that?
Yeah, it's also, this is one of the pieces like similar to Nina where I struggle explaining it what I feel, but it of course the color scheme black, red, white is always my top favorite colors. I'm kind of walking around in these colors, and just like I really like these dark hands coming from behind, trying to get you, and like everyone and everything is kind of to get your attention, and you're struggling with so many things in your head, or your head is kind of exploding. And yeah, I really love this piece, how it's done, and the deep emotional story it translates.
Yep, 100%, 100%. Let's now move to Resourceful. And Ninja, do you remember when we saw this piece in the garden like a few weeks ago? We were blown away by
Oh
this
yeah,
artwork.
Yeah, that
like
was an instant like no-brainer, right? Like, wow, what's going on here? And the whole story, like, wow.
100%. Like this is absolutely amazing. I can find words to describe this piece. It's so deep and like real. And even though it's from a robot, it kind of feels like nowadays. It of course portrays a dystopian future, but it truly feels like something we should be worried about even nowadays, where we are like destroying our planets and we're like we are not having resource full. We're having resource empty. If we move, we're gonna have like resource empty if we keep on doing what we're doing today, nowadays. So this piece is absolutely amazing, and I'm pretty sure we all agree that from a technical point of view, this is absolutely top notch. And the history behind it, and I encourage everyone to watch every single one of the artworks in the gallery on their marketplaces. So you're gonna find the Twitter handle of the artist. You're gonna be able to find them on Twitter or X. Now we call it X. You're gonna be able to find them there, and I encourage all of you guys to go check the artwork in the on the marketplace, because it's where you're gonna truly experience the full quality of the works and like full screen and so on. So please do it. And yeah, Ninja, do you want to add something more to that piece?
Oh, I could forever, but I think you just nailed it. I'm actually eager to talk about the next one from Porky, which I wonder when Porky was in my room recording my childhood. That's exactly what happened in my life. I see there's so many things like from the Nintendo games. I was playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo like crazy, then Doom on computer, like the old discs. And there's Metallica posters. We have Star Fox. There's so many details of things from my childhood that it feels like that's really a truly retro room with where it feels like he was in my room and took a screen record of it and now created that beautiful artwork. So very, very well done. And yeah, I'm so connected to it actually.
So true, so true. I think that was everyone's room back in the days, I guess. Like the moment I saw Doom there, I was like, oh yeah, that must be my room. I remember I spent so much time playing that game when I was a kid. And yeah, such an amazing artwork, and you can see like the number of like the infinite number of details that Porky put into this piece. It's truly mind blowing, like from any point of view. So huge congratulations for that piece, like absolutely amazing. And now, last but not least, we're gonna move to Little Words by Secret Bears. Once again, like the number of details here is absolutely insane, and you wouldn't tell like there are so many details just by looking at the artwork on a first view. But if you spend a lot of like a little bit of time looking at every single one of the pixel in this animation, you're gonna find like way more details that you can actually imagine right now. Absolutely mind-blowing piece, absolutely mind-blowing. Like I'm blown away by the quality of the artworks that we are receiving, especially in the 3D open call. As I kind of being a 3D artist myself, I do have a feeling on how long it takes to do something, or how it should, like how it can be done. And to see like this quality of work here, it's truly an honor to me to have them in the gallery, because like they are absolutely mind-blowing. Ninja, I know you love this piece as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, this is the piece I actually would trade with you for the Nina piece. And yeah, I mean, for me, I think this is probably my top favorite from all pieces. If I would need to select one, I'm big into a post-apocalyptic scenes and zombie stuff and so on. And here you have so many rooms and so many things going on, like so many different scenarios happening in one artwork and done on such a high quality level. Especially what I also love is like how the wind is blowing through the trees and they're losing their leaves, and there's so much action going on. It kind of feels like you're in an action movie, and just so much respect for all the work that flow into that piece. So yeah, I hope one day it's gonna be mine.
Maybe I'm gonna buy it first and then trade it for Nina's work. But it's gonna be a tough decision because this
That's a
piece
good
is
option.
absolutely amazing as well. Yeah. Let's see. It really depends on how many yachts I sell. Maybe I'm gonna do it. Maybe, probably not. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Let's. Before we move to the AI room, I'm pretty sure we all noticed what's at the middle. What's in the middle of this room? There are like three absolutely mind-blowing VRMs avatars from Art and Shine, and we have Art and Shine's co-founder here on the stage, which is Ninja, of course. So, man, before we move to the next room, do you want to tell us something more about Art and Shine and these VRM characters as well? Because they are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Yeah, actually, we founded Art on Chain last October, and we are all about creating customized things for the metaverse. It started with customized galleries. Now we also started our like customized avatars, where when you want to be anything, as you can see, we have so many different avatars right now here. In the metaverse, you can be anything, and if you don't find your avatar somewhere, we can also create one for you. So that's something we do, and we are always looking to provide things in the metaverse that help people to have a truly one of a kind experience in here. And just check out our website. It's artonchannel.io, and you will find all information about us. Thank you so much, Jan.
Man, thank you for sharing those informations with us. Let's now move to the upper floor, and we're gonna go to the AI room. To go to the upper floor, guys, you need to like walk back towards the photography room, and then you're gonna find the main staircase. And once you go up to the first floor, you're gonna find the AI room right behind it. So let's go there first. And Black is already here. Hello, Black.
Hello. This is quite the experience overall. I think it's amazing that everyone can show up to one place at one time and do this, like from around the world. It's just, it's awesome. It's been amazing listening to all the other artists talk about their work, and I'm definitely honored to present this gallery room for sure. So we've got 20 artists in here, I believe. I'm happy to kind of start wherever, but I guess overall, you know, whenever you go to curate something, I think a lot of it has to do with sort of what the brief is and what the overall kind of concept of the show is going to be. And for me, this one was a little bit more open than most other curations. And so I wanted to make sure I had a pretty broad variety of work and kind of, you know, really diverse kind of display of different things, from animations to still images and illustrations to more painterly type of things, and photorealism as well. And so everything here, I believe, touches on a different part of the spectrum. And so that was something that was kind of important to me as I was going through, and I wanted to make sure that we kind of represented all different types of work, because AI right now is just, by utilizing that in collaboration with your efforts, you're able to produce so many different types of things. And I think that's one of the really the abilities that AI really has to offer for artists in the space, is to be able to really express themselves in pretty much any way they can imagine. And so I think this room really represents that. And yeah, happy to answer any questions, but otherwise we can go ahead and start with artists that may be here and are wanting to speak on their work.
Oh, 100%, guys. If you're one of the AI artists in an exhibition here, please feel free to request to speak and come up on stage and talk about your submission. And Black, I actually had a question, which was like, how did you handle the non-brief curation? But I think you already gave a perfect answer to that. So thank you very much for letting us know what you were looking for when you were curating this piece. And I personally love the way like this gallery is being curated by you. Absolutely mind blown by the quality of works here as well. And honestly, like I'm an AI noob, so I know very little about AI. But to be honest, like for most of the works here, I wouldn't be able they were AI. So I kind of think this shows kind of an experience from the person who's actually making them. So yeah, Blake, please take the lead on the exhibition. You know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, a lot of times people that may not be super aware of the AI art movement in general, I think there's a sort of knee-jerk reaction to assume that all of it looks the same. And I think in some places that's true, but I think in our community here in the Web3 Twitter kind of community here on Twitter, like I think it's the people who are working with these tools are using them for what I would call, pure artistic expression. And I think you can see that in the works here. And every one of them has a very, very standout feeling to them. Every one of them is unique. Every one of them is expressive. And they all do that in different ways. And I think there's no other real example of how powerful these tools really can be. So I think we should go to Custom Horror, who is the first one to request. I'm just going to kind of go on order of who's on my screen, guys, just to let you know. But I know Custom jumped up here first. Welcome, Custom. And I have to say, it was a pleasure hanging out with you in Lisbon, my friend. It was fantastic getting to meet you and hang out. And I was so stoked to see you enter into this open call. When I saw the work, it was an immediate yes, because it's so unique. And I'd love to hear more about, sort of your interpretation of this, where you're going with it. I know that from our conversations before, you use different types of approaches with things and all different types of things within your work. So welcome to the stage, my friend.
I appreciate it very much. That was a really warm welcome. I appreciate it very much. So let's do that 1 minute thing, right? That's the goal. So let's go. So in this piece, when I use AI, I usually prompt the AI for something until I find it interesting, and then I paint on top of it, and that's what makes it my own. And in this piece, which is called New Mail Order, I sort of reflected on this thing I'm seeing, and I also maybe experienced myself especially when being single, and when you're one of those people that maybe sits a lot in front of the computer, and we live our lives through this digital era. We watch some porn, and I think there's this thing we're moving towards where, like, especially young men might get a skewed reality view, especially of women, and also like socially how to interact with people when we have like this when we like end up like isolating ourselves in our caves, which I have done sometimes in my life at least. And it's not so obvious from the piece here. I like to approach my pieces with some humor and add some text to like kind of depict what I'm thinking. And all this might have not been my intention while I painted it. It's something that just like sort of happened when I'm doing it. It's very like intuitive. I just put some strokes on the paper, and then I get an idea and I write something, and I might find it funny. I write boobs on the screen. Oh yeah, this guy's watching porn. And so like all that meaning sort of derived later. There's something that indicates what I'm talking about here, which is not obvious when you see the piece here. It's not even obvious when you see it unless you like kind of like on let's say OpenSea or on Super Rare where it's minted. You'd have to open the file and zoom in fully. There's a little receipt at the bottom left corner, and I want to read what it says because I feel like that sort of indicates where I'm heading at with this piece more than just the things that are apparent to you with text. And so on the receipt, it says 1x real girl, 1x hugs, 1x talk 5 minutes. And the total sum of the receipt is monthly income. Because I feel like we're heading towards a very skewed society. Maybe this is just like a probable outcome from like this digital age we're diving into. No, that was it. I think I don't need more than that for this piece.
Thank you so much. I'm actually really glad you went through that because it gives insight, and I love how expressive it is. You can obviously tell there's a lot of processing involved in the way that you're going about and doing this, which is also the case for a lot of the pieces in this room. So really appreciate you going through that. Let's go to Animate. Welcome, my friend. I'm so glad, when you threw this piece in. I have to admit, I had seen it before because it was something that was going on with the Friday AI spaces that you all have, but it's just for whatever reason, it really stands out to me. It's something that a lot of times when we see sort of like robotics or cyborgs or something, they're very perfect and very polished and things like this. And this is something that's like post cyborg, apocalypse type of thing. And I love it. It's super intricate. Love the details in it. And yeah, welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's an honor to be selected. This is such an amazing yacht. I mean, I'm a 3D artist myself. I am so blown away with just the environment and the community that's come around this. Yeah, super an honor. About me, I'm Animate Dead. For those who don't know me, I'm a forensic animator. So I literally animate dead people all day. For the last 10 years, I've been staring at dead bodies and trying to show you how they were not dead at one point. But basically, with my use of AI, yeah, thanks for mentioning Fried AI. I host a weekly space, which is, it'll be tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. We talk about AI and stuff. But with my 3 co-hosts, we rotate a weekly prompt. And so we use this as sort of ways to break out of our prompting ruts that we get into. And so this particular theme was centered around broken, the thought, sort of ideas around being broken. And so really what the story of this piece developed into, and there was sort of a bit of a playful back and forth with Black and I, and the title became 1,000 Whens Later. And essentially it's the story and the visual degradation of what happens to, let's say, someone's ego or their artistic ambitions, or, this crypto art world is essentially a war of attrition. And a lot of people fizzle out because, let's say, they don't get the eyes that they want, or they don't get the sales that they want. And so really this was, in collecting this together, this was an embodiment of that spirit of being broken and downtrodden, and something that you thought was, this android was built to outlive humans. And here you have it, the apocalyptic story of what happens when, those sort of dreams go unanswered and shattered. So a lot of fun in creating this one. I want to say again, thank you to everyone here today. And the piece is for sale for 0.08 ETH. I've also got an open edition that is for a tenth the price, that I also opened in honor of this again. So yeah, if anyone wants to hear about the piece more or continue chatting about AI, I do run a weekly space tomorrow, Friday AI. Hope to see you all there. Thanks again for the opportunity.
Thanks again, man. I love this piece. And actually, right next to it is Anosha's piece, who is here as well. Anosha, I'm such a huge fan of your work. And when I saw this piece come through, I'd seen it before as well. I think just in the feed in general, and it always, your work definitely pulls a sense of almost like Dali or Kandinsky to me. And Kandinsky is one of my favorite artists, but I think this almost like graphic abstract expressionism that you've captured here has so much depth, and I just love the color palette and everything about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it and your impressions. So welcome to the stage.
Oh my God, Black, thank you so much for those beautiful words. Like you're making me a little emotional here, because you know how much I admire you as an artist and curator. So thank you so much for this and for including me. So just a little background for those that don't know me. My name is Anosha Zanjani, and I'm a surrealist artist and a digital painter. And I've started using AI recently as my main medium. Art has really become a gateway to the depths of the human mind and really bridging between conscious and subconscious for me. I have a background in art therapy and mental health, both on the clinical and research side. So I've really witnessed how art has the power to transform and really explore and dive into these emotions that are sometimes really hard to express with words. My artwork that's included in this exhibition that Black has selected is from my new Untitled collection, which really dives into the subconscious through digital painting and AI. And this collection is actually building upon my previous Dreamscape series that Black mentioned has more of a surrealist Dali aesthetic. This is where I actually had fed sections of my journal entries from lucid dreaming and meditation as prompts into Midjourney, trying to sort of envision the emotional essence. And the entries were trying to becoming kind of a surrealist aesthetic. Then I would composite and paint on top of it with Photoshop. So that I had been developing over the past year with 43 pieces I created as part of the series. Recently, though, when I looked upon that collection several months ago, I felt that each artwork formed a different piece of an emotional alphabet, kind of a language for my unconscious. So that's how I started kind of looking at my Dreamscape series an emotional alphabet that I could start telling another story, creating images that represented and blended different emotional experiences. And this resulted in the birth of my latest collection, which is here, which is the Untitled collection, which sort of blurs the boundaries between surrealism and abstract expressionism. So the piece for this exhibition is Untitled 4, and it explores themes of fear and interconnection from Dreamscapes 18 and Dreamscapes 15. So I used AI to actually also mix the poems that were associated for both of these pieces of artworks and to embody a new poem that combines the essence of these two pieces. And you can check it out in my latest tweet if you're interested. I don't want to take too much time. And again, I'm really excited to be part of this. And Untitled 4 is available on my own smart contract listed on Joyce for 0.2 ETH. So thank you again for having me. This yacht party has been awesome, and it's so beautifully designed. And it's my first yacht party, and I'll be definitely attending more of these. So thank you so much.
And we are gonna make way more of these moving
Perfect.
forward. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. I absolutely love your artwork and really communicates with me a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna let the floor to Black because he can probably share more feedbacks on that. But yeah, thank you very much for showing up and for having your artworks on board. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anosha. I love the work, and I'm so happy to have it here. It was a pleasure to curate it, and I'm always a fan when I get to see your work. And honestly, like hearing the background of it resonates a lot with me as well, and a lot of the things that I work towards, and the kind of elements that I pull from different types of meta consciousness experiences and things like this. And maybe that's why it resonates so much with me, because it comes across and just kind of resonates like that. But I really appreciate it. Also on this wall, we have Frisky Foxtrot, who is here as well. This crazy piece. When I first saw this, I just stared at it forever. It felt like it was so mesmerizing. And there's something very simple about it, but there's also something very impactful about it. And the kind of graphic nature of the face when it appears is striking and almost like horrific, but it's also like graphical and cartoony, and it has a bit of like a comic book kind of vibe. And then the overall animation is very hypnotic and kind of mesmerizing in a way. It almost reminds me of like a weird abstract cyborg horror version of like Hypnotoad or something. I don't know, something like that. But it really just hits, and it was a very striking piece. And I'm happy to have you up here. Welcome to the stage. Oh no, I think Frisky got rug. Hold on. We're doing it. We're doing this live. Frisky, are you there now? Oh no. Try again. Are you there now?
It shows that it's still loading for me. Hopefully the space is not gonna go rugged. We never know with Twitter Spaces, right?
Yeah, we never know. We never know. We can keep rolling, and Frisky, hopefully it'll work. If you want to maybe drop from the space and come back and request, and we'll try to get you up here, my friend. Let's see who else is on this wall just while we're here. I see Neil in the space. Neil is over to the left. Let's kind of walk over here to the left a little bit. It's the black, white, and with the streak of red in between Krazer's piece and Rocket Girls. This one is amazing. I think that Neil, for those who follow Neil and his work, definitely works within this kind of contemporary ideal of AI versus humanity, and the sort of embracing of the idea of the technological advancement and singularity and things like this, whether it be good or bad, and kind of an exploration of everything in between. So, Neil, I'd love to hear more about this work, and welcome to the stage.
Yeah, just like everybody else, thanks, and just blown away to be part of this group of people, and having my art being hung up there in this amazing yacht. I've toyed around with things like this, and props to you for a great space. Yeah, the idea of AI as it continues to grow and expand in our society is something I'm trying to capture here. the piece is entitled Passive Assimilation. So I like the idea of pixels. Most of us are probably staring at our phone or staring at a computer screen right now. And as we continue to march forward with AI, it will be more intertwined just in our daily lives and our own personas. And I'm hoping that this picture captures that. To a certain extent, we don't have control over this. So as we reach that singularity, as we continue to assimilate with AI, the pixel-esque type detail in that picture kind of shows it becoming part of a human, becoming part of us overall, which is something we're all going to have to grapple with individually.
And this piece, you know, I think we've obviously worked a lot together in the artist incubator, and I've seen sort of the progress and just like over maybe not less progress, more like the journey of all these different things that you've explored through this. This piece definitely stands out to me as at least maybe I don't. It's hard to say one of the best, but I would say one of the ones that definitely hit me the most. It just seems like there's a lot here, and there's this sort of awakening that's happening while also being asleep, and it's rushing while also being still, and there's just a lot of contrast, I think, conceptually here. And yeah, it's a great piece, and I really appreciate you joining in.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Black. Trying not to be too intentional, let the viewer kind of make up their own minds on how they feel about it. So really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for everybody. Really, really, really. Thank you.
Absolutely. And right next to that is Rocket Girl. Pleasure to have you here. I just have to say, you know, whenever I see some culty looking stuff, I feel like I don't want to be too biased towards it because obviously I vibe. But I love your work. It always, and especially the more recent stuff, like you always have this kind of rough graphical post-process vibe to it that really pops off. And every single time I see it, I'm like, damn, like she hit that. And I think this one really does that. And yeah, I'm just really happy to have it in the show and for you to be here. Welcome to the stage.
Oh, hey, thank you very much. Yeah, the work is absolutely amazing. I've literally been been looking at everything today, and yeah, thank you so much for creating me. It's great.
So you want to tell us maybe a little bit more about this piece that's here and sort of what's behind it and a little bit of insight?
Yeah, sure. So it's been collected by my friend Melted already, which was amazing. And it is part of a series that I did about a fictional cult called Arcanum Aqua Obscurae. So I kind of sort of similar to, well, not as detailed as the stuff that you were showing the other day, but I have excuse me, each piece is part of like a cult manuscript, and there's rituals in every one. So this one's a ritual of transcendence because the person is clearly clearly levitating. So yeah, it's just really, it's about kind of metaphysical concepts and just different elements of beliefs that I've been exposed to over the years and I've studied. So I'm just trying to create a kind of otherworldly a vision in this work, and yeah, I kind of like to leave a lot of it up to the viewer to figure out for themselves as well. So yeah.
That's awesome. And I definitely want to hear more about the kind of background of the cult mythos that you're building. We can definitely talk about that in the background. I think that's amazing. I know you mentioned it the other day too, and that's just something that obviously I've been working on my own kind of world of things as well. And I think that everyone, you know, those who are kind of building out like these worlds of things, I think it's less about, you know, building a full story and more about kind of building a core behind the work that you're doing. And I think, you know, going back to the idea of AI in this space and the way that people are utilizing it, it's not just, you know, pretty flowers and rainbows and pink elephants on a hill. It's something that's very expressive and can have a lot of narrative in the background and really kind of just dive deep. So I really appreciate you being here and for sharing. Let's see, who else do we have in here? We have, I think, Miss Mojo. Where is your piece in here? I got to walk around and find it, but I'd love for you to come up on stage and join us.
Hello. I thank you, Black. I'd like to congratulate you, Gianmarco, for the monumental achievement you've reached today. It's quite something. And thank you for all the curation. It's amazing to be a part of this. Lord knows I'm shy. I don't get on stage many of that often, but I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I have a background working as an art director, designer, illustrator, and a bit of photography. Therefore, I work with many medium. I love being able to provoke self-reflecting and in my work, and I consider myself working a lot with surrealism. My piece is called Merging the Curtain. It's about a woman realizing her own identity and kind of showing it to the world, embracing it and showing it to the world. It's autobiographical a bit because right now I'm going through that kind of transition myself. It's about like the mask we wear in life and also like the public image we have. Um, the way I achieved it, it was working with Midjourney, and I also digitally and painted the piece with a bit of roughness added in Procreate, because I really like blending the realistic with something more raw and add my own touch to a piece. Um, the piece is also about ourselves being characters a bit, like in some kind of way we are all constructed of characters in our own identities, and sometimes it can be hard to make part of that and just merge everything and become our own essence and our own self. Specifically neurodivergent people. As a late diagnosed neurodivergent, I kind of realized I needed to find more about myself and embrace it. So this piece represents a bit like letting down the mask and shining your own special sparkle to the world. Like be yourself, embrace it, and never mind what everybody else think. Yep.
I love that. This one really stood out to me. I think that there's this kind of photo quality to it, obviously, but then the ripples and the curtain. And to me, even though I kind of felt like it had a fabric type of texture, it also kind of looked like ammunition in a way to me. All the ripples on the right side felt like bullets, and I don't think they were literally that, but for some reason in my mind it almost looked like a chain of ammunition together, and there's something like almost violent about it while also being very serene and still. And that really stood out to me. And then kind of reading through your description about what was behind it, it just really stood out. And so I'm really happy to have it here and for you to have been able to join us today and to talk about it. Right next to that piece, let's see, we have, let me just make sure real quick. Yeah, so we have Poetic Concept, Miguel. I'm not sorry if I mispronounce it. I just want to make sure I do it properly. This piece, Blue Fence, which is something that it reminds me of like 5 different works of art, and on none of them being literally the same thing, obviously. But when I first saw it, it really stuck out to me. It was one of the very first ones that I shortlisted. And as I was going through all of them, kind of going back to it, there's something uneasy about it. There's something impactful about it. There's something that has a lot of kind of social commentary to it. There's so much that you can derive from it, but it has this kind of minimalist type of appearance, and it just, I don't know, there's so much going on with this, and I would love to kind of hear your thoughts about it and to have you share. And welcome to the stage.
Hey, thanks for your words, Black, and congratulations to Marco for the Yacht. It's really incredible. Well, this piece is called Blue Fence. It's part of my collection called Latent Paintings. It's a collection that explores my studies of using stable diffusion tools to create AI art, and at the same time using tropes and elements like it looks like a painting. So it creates like an intersect between these tropes that makes the aesthetic of AI art and also of a painting. So through this process, I always looking to explore and create enigmatic and kind of surreal places, church, and for the most of the part with a drop of social commentary or subtext, for better said. And in some way, most of the time, I keep these elements that makes AI art very characteristic. Like you can see there, maybe the hands, I left them like it looks like AI art. And other part I like of this piece especially is how the blue fence combines with in some part with the pants of this man above the fence. I could easily fix it, but when it happens doing the painting, it was like really satisfying to modify my idea to be better, to be stronger, to continue to have these tropes of AI. And I don't know if I would like to talk about the meaning. Maybe if someone have any question, I would like to hear in the first place what they think, what they can uh, read in the subtext of this piece. And that's all. Cheers.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you going through that. And it's nice to kind of hear more about process and that sort of thing as well. I want to jump to Miss Jo No's piece. That's the animated piece, sort of back behind us a little bit. Let me just, it's the, I'm trying to get back here, the future. She's not able to join us, but she did kind of give me a little bit to speak on for this. So I'll happily kind of do that. And then we'll move on to another piece as well. Unfortunately, she's just kind of listening in between work stuff. So she says, my piece was prompted in Midjourney, post-process and Procreate, and animated and Motion Leap. Thoughts and prompting were surreal, future dystopian vibes, technology combined. And she also listed it on Join, by the way, for 0.1 ETH. And I think that it's something that when I was looking at it, this was one that I had on the list. And as I was going through, I think that there's different types of animations in the AI world of things. And I think a lot of people are utilizing some of the more like AI-based tools to animate things, but there's obviously 1,000 different ways to animate stuff, even more like traditionally, so to speak, in the digital framework. And this one definitely came across to me as that. And so I wanted to include it because it was something that was a combination of different things. And I'm even happier to see that she worked with Procreate with it as well. And there's a lot of processing involved. And I think it's just another example of work that when kind of flexed upon, you know, with all these other tools and putting things out there in a way that has intention behind it, it really hits. And yeah, I'm super stoked to have this piece in here. And unfortunately, Ms. Jo won't be able to speak with us, but hopefully I did it justice, hopefully. Let's go to, let's see, I'm trying to see who else is around here. We've got Gonaji piece. It's the, what is it called? The mystical melange, or I'm sorry, melange. This one was another one that I immediately shortlisted. It's one of the most striking portrait pieces I've seen, maybe in this space completely. I think it really stands out. It has such extreme contrast. And yeah, I would love to kind of hear more thoughts from you is now that you're here up on stage. Welcome to the stage, my friend. Amazing piece.
Oh, well, wow. Thank you so much, Black. I really appreciate it. Hi, everyone. My name is Gissan. I'm known as It's G0 Naji, and the social media.
Are you there? Can other people hear him and not me, or did he rug? Oh no.
I think he rug because I cannot hear him as well.
Oh no, I think he'll come back. Well, let's jump to Mindwank, who's actually right next to this piece. Since you're here, go ahead, Mindwank, and then we'll go back to G0 when he gets back up here on stage.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, and just to kind of give you a bit of an intro, sorry, I was just kind of jumping around, but this one is so surreal and so weird and so amazing. It just reminds me of there's like hints of suicide and kind of like a societal collapse, but also this like weird kind of commentary on economic destruction. And I don't know, there's just so much with this one that I can pull out. I stared at this, I kept going back to it over and over again. And I'm very happy to have been able to put this piece into the collection here. Please, love to hear more about it. Welcome.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, everyone else. This is truly an honor to be included in this selection of artists. I'm not going to talk very long about the piece, but essentially, the name of this one is Feathery Plume or Black Billowing Cloud, which is a reference to Don DeLillo's book White Noise, which is a fantastic book. Maybe I'm trying to sell that book with this, but basically, so in the story, the main character, there's this thing that ends up being called the airborne toxic event. It's this giant, black plume in the distance that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and ends up impacting everyone's life in the story. But it was less about the actual destruction that comes from some terrible event, but more about that like initial period where there are just reports on the radio, and in the radio it's like, oh, it's a feathery plume. Oh no, now they're calling it a black billowing cloud, and there's sort of this changing terminology around, is this event actually really bad? Like, it seems bad, but sort of the rumors around how likely an event is to impact you. And so, yeah, I love what you picked out of it, and the sort of hints of something terrible on the horizon. But I was trying to capture, like, especially with the, this took a while to kind of get something of what I was going for. Lots of prompting, lots of blending. But the guy in the foreground, sort of like, it almost looks like out of the corner of his eye, he can see there's something going on behind him. But like, is this the dying down of something, or is this actually the turbulent beginning to something really terrible? So anyway, that's it.
It's a really powerful looking piece. It has a lot of drama in it, and I think that it's just something that it's amazing. I'm really happy to have it here. Let's see if G0 is able to speak again. Welcome back. Hopefully it works this time.
Yes, hello.
Yep, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I don't know how far I got through it, but yeah, just maybe talk a little bit, give you a little bit of background. Starting from a science degree 20 years ago, I've eventually found passion in design and arts. And after 10 years.
No, I think we lost him again. Yep. Unfortunately, yep.
Yeah, I think at this point, Black, maybe you can give a short description of the piece from a curator's point of view, and maybe G0, you wanna drop like a message to Black with something you would really like to say about your artwork. And I'm so sorry to acknowledge that you're being rugged right now, man. Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, G0, if you want to, just go ahead and drop me a message in the Yacht Party DM group, if you can hear me, and I'll read that here in a moment, if you want to do that. I do want to speak on a couple. I'm not sure how many other speakers we have here from the AI crew, but I do want to speak on a couple. The one right here next to G0's is by Yacht. when things turn brittle. John Marco and I looked at this piece for like 20 minutes the other day when we were talking. And by the way, it is minted now, John Marco. So John Marco was like, "Oh my God, this is so amazing." This piece has incredible texture, and I think that it was a piece that when I first saw it, I admittedly kind of saw it and I was like, yeah, this is cool, and I kind of went on. And then as I was going back through and looking at every single piece individually and kind of studying them, that's where this one really hit for me. That's when I stared at it, I got lost in it, and I realized how much was actually there. And so this is one of those pieces that I think that the more you kind of stand up next to it and stare at it for a while, you realize what all is involved in it. And I think that it's super special because of that. The textures are absolutely incredible. The color palette's on point. And I think that Yeti typically has amazing work as well. And so if you're unfamiliar with her work, I'd highly suggest go and check it out. She's always very, very detailed. All the works come out very polished. You can tell there's a lot of effort that gets put into it. And I think that in this space, that's something to really appreciate as fellow artists in this space who can appreciate process and how much goes into this stuff. I think, going and checking out her work is definitely something that should be done for sure if you are unfamiliar with it. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that. John Marco, anything about this piece you wanted to highlight? Because I know you and I talked about it for a bit.
Oh yeah, I was actually taking a break. So thank you very much, Black, for leading on the AI art room. Like this piece to me is absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite, and as you said before, we spent a lot of time just looking at it and trying to understand the textures and the layers of this piece. And sorry, what I truly love about this artwork is that you don't really understand where it ends. Oh, sorry, where the body ends and the artwork begins. So like you can't really say that like that head is part of the painting or the legs are part of the painting on the table. And this truly kind of it reminds to me the very intimate relationship that there is like between the artist and his own artwork or her own artwork. And to me, like this piece truly resonates with me on a personal level, and I can spend hours just by looking at it and the textures and the layers and like the whole composition itself. And even if you look like on the right corner, you're gonna see like there is a straight line there that's kind of suggesting you that there is like a third dimension to this piece. So it's not just a painting, it's not just a painting sitting on a table with legs below, but there could be something more, that this whole thing could be a painting within a painting within a painting. And honestly, like you could spend hours just by looking at this artwork and trying to find meaning. So it's absolutely amazing. One of my favorite for 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I'm so glad you brought up that little strip on the right. I know it's such a small little detail, but I love how that just kind of takes your eye out. And it's like, hey, there's an entire other, world of things happening here, or this is like a ripped texture off of the side of a canvas or something. Like I love stuff like that. I implement that often in some of the more like collagier type of stuff that I have, where like you kind of want to imply that it's on another surface or there's something else happening right outside the frame. And I think it just adds a lot of depth. I do want to jump back to G Zeros, who just DM'd me a kind of a message. I'll read it from his perspective. In my work, I like to leverage AI to discover new possibilities in post-photographic art image creation. I'm always challenging myself to explore narrative through the interplay of light, color, and emotions, striving to craft visuals that tell captivating stories. The art selected for this exhibition is called Mystical Melange. It's a blend of mysterious, enigmatic, and diverse elements coming together in one image. The artwork is live now on Foundation as the start of the space, and all details are in his pin tweet as well. And he says, beyond grateful for the incredible opportunity and genuinely happy to be here. And we are happy as well, my friend, with the exception of the rugging. Definitely happy to have you here. And I also wanted to give a shout back out to Frisky Foxtrot, who was also rugged and also DM me a message. If you guys want to kind of turn your gaze back over to the left a little bit to Frisky's animation with the crazy face, I'll read Frisky's message to me now as well. still image was created while doing some world building for a different project that didn't quite fit there. So I put it on Twitter as a, what would you title this post? And Rebel, our favorite Rebel without applause, called it the amalgamation of order and chaos. I wanted this to be the submission because I could hear Black in the back of my mind saying, go further. Then I meditated with the still image and that title, and I came to the idea of two diametrically opposed forces clashing, birthing this freakish anomaly. The image was generated with Midjourney, background was made with PhotoLead, and then created then using animated 50 individual images, edited in Photoshop, upscaled with Topaz, layered and polished in CapCut. The melting skull face signifies breaking free from traditional limits and unleashing the creative essence within. It calls upon us to embrace both order and chaos, understanding the beauty and transformative potential that arises from their harmonious blend. Boom. So that's Frisky's piece. I definitely feel that it hits on all those points. And I'm really glad you dropped me that message, Frisky, so I could get that out there. Let's see, what else do we have? I want to definitely highlight, I think, Underworld, who is here on Cyber, but I don't see Underworld on the space. Underworld's piece over here, it's animation on the other side. If you guys kind of follow me across here, the Seance Ghost. Let's see, I think Underworld just requested, actually, so happy to get him up here real quick. Underworld, you know, I've seen Underworld on this journey here these last, you know, almost a year at this point, I think. And the progression and just the overall level of execution is just like constantly growing, constantly getting crazier and crazier. And this piece definitely hits on that. And some of the work that he's been putting out is just next level. And I'm super stoked to have him in this show, as well as Zeitgeist, which is coming up too, dropping on Monday. Underworld's in that show as well, and just super happy to have you here, my friend. Welcome to the stage.
What is good? You guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Yeah, this is super sick. This is like my first real metaverse experience. And yeah, this is dope. So much sick art. For this piece, yeah, this is like a lot of the art that I've been putting out there lately. This was something that I created back in May. And I didn't really have any direction that I was going with this piece initially. I kind of took the Zadislaw Bygzinski approach of like meaning is meaningless to me. I was really just trying to learn the motion parameters with Deforum on this piece. So I created this with Deforum and automatic 111. And yeah, I didn't really have an intention when I initially created this piece. My prompt for this, and my prompt for a lot of my work that I've been releasing, it's always been the same, but it changes from model to model or whatever I'm utilizing. But the prompt that I utilize is a portrait of a fearful and tormented female and male artists in an extravagant, brutalist living room filled with demons from hell and demonic spirits attacking them. An angry, evil witch cries in the corner of the room. And then I always add a couple words like psychosis and whatnot. So this didn't really have meaning to me. And then I saw it afterwards and was like, holy shit, this looks like the POV of a seance ghost kind of going through a room and like, I don't know, it was just super trippy and I liked it. And now it has meaning to me. And my meaning derives after a piece is created. I never create a work with some type of intention fully in mind. So I think for me, this piece also touches up on, since I utilize AI to create it, kind of the conversation starter of like AI being able to be the new seance soon. Being able to kind of bring your loved ones back from the dead in terms of uploading their voice and the nature of them to speak to you beyond death. So that's a meaning I derived for the piece after creating it. I wish that I could have shown the longer piece of it. Some of it got super weird, so we cut it down to a short little clip. But I'll keep it short here. That's all I got on this one.
Thanks a lot. This is the work is so trippy, and I think it's super well polished as well. You know, a lot of these sort of like AI frame to frame animations just kind of start breaking apart over time, and I think that where that actually plays to your advantage is that it creates this even more surrealistic type of energy with it, and it actually like enhances it. And so I think that's something to kind of call out where some may seem technical limitation, you can also utilize that to your advantage to push the piece even further than what it would be if it was perfect. And I think this is a prime example of that. So happy to have that here. Let's go to the one right next to this, which is "Everything Is Fine" by Bird Dog. This this one is like it's like a photorealistic embodiment of a meme. Which I had to include because for starters, it's just a crazy looking piece. It's a black and white piece with a person on fire inside of the office space. And for those, it may not have seen this up close. If you look at the windows, there is there's like a meme poster on the window that says "Everything is fine," and I think if I remember correctly, it's like a little cat kind of like meme picture that you see in like like office buildings or something. Meanwhile, this guy in a suit is standing in the middle with a cup of coffee, and the entire room is burning on fire around him. So I think this it's awesome. I don't see Bird Dog here on stage, but definitely wanted to kind of touch on that piece as well. Back behind this, we have Kraser's piece called "Interfacing," which I don't see him here either. But actually, let me see. I think Bird Dog just requested to come up, so we'll go back to him in just a moment after he gets up here. But I do want to speak on Kraser's piece here too. Kraser typically has the kind of like horror-based work. The palette is usually very similar across a lot of the works, a lot of reds and dark kind of colors and vibes and that sort of thing. And this piece, while kind of holding that sense of rawness, also sort of has this kind of almost like a romantic feeling to it, obviously because of the subject matter and what's happening there. But you also kind of get this sense that there's this realism there, there's something kind of dark there, but there's also like a sense of almost like cybernetic love that's happening there too. And I think that it's very striking. I think it's very different from a lot of Kraser's pieces, while also fitting within the world of things that he's created for his own like kind of visual identity. Let me see. I think Diego is now here. Bird Dog, aka back behind us once again. Everything is fine. Welcome to the stage, my friend. Happy to have you.
Hey everybody, can you hear me okay, by the way? Oh,
Yes, go
okay,
ahead.
perfect. Sorry. This is yeah, I just got out of like a couple of meetings, which is funny because the piece is about work and, also burnout. Everything you said is pretty much touches upon like what I intended for the piece. Um, I wanted to kind of give that sense, the hustle culture with the burnout, definitely based on the meme with the little dog with everything on fire. So, and I heard a little bit of what you said in the beginning, where it's like AI kind of lets you express yourself in the moment. So this is definitely a piece that I made like after it was like a really stressful day at work. So I was just kind of like just throwing, anything I could at the prompts just to kind of get that feeling and sense out of the day. Um, and that's kind of what I love about it. And what I try to do with my pieces is just kind of incorporate a lot of either what's going on emotionally during the day, or like just what's in my past, what's happened in my past. So yeah, that's thank you for having me. That's actually I think my first time speaking on a space, um, especially well, it's speaking on a space like about my art specifically. I've never I've just kind of started this journey, so this is a huge honor, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be on this awesome yacht as a tiny taco. I don't know if you see me, but I'm a tiny taco.
Thank you so much, man. Stoked to have you in this, and I'd love to see the journey as well. And so, yeah, definitely appreciate you being here, and thanks for coming up on stage as well. Let's see. I want to jump over real quick. We have 3 pieces on this wall. I don't think the artists are here actually. We have Born to Travel, UFO NFT, which is also Mary, if you guys are familiar with Mary.